Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brady Williamson. I'm a community youth librarian here at Hamilton Public Library, and I thank you for joining us here today. We have a guest who's going to tell us about a really cool, really useful program, and that is Lidia from the YWCA, and she's going to tell us all about the STEP, the Strategic Thinking and Employment Program, which is a really cool program for getting people meaningful employment, especially people who might identify as female or non-binary. And with that, I won't talk anymore because Lydia is going to know more about all this stuff than I do. I'll hand it off to you, Lydia, and you can go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brady. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to the HPL for allowing me to be part of your March break programming. So I'm excited to share with you some information with regards to our STEP program. And as you can see, it's the Strategic Training and Employment Program. It is something that we're really excited about for any type of youth, specifically female or non-binary youth that are excited to obtain employment and see what that's about. Absolutely, that's what we're here to do. I'm going to spend the next few minutes and be respectful of your time to make sure we get all the information. And if we can just advance to the second slide, this is the STEP program staff. So this is Lydia speaking to you right now. Please do yourself a favor, take our contact information down. So if you have any more questions, or you could certainly call or text or email for follow-up, I'm very happy to assist you. I know there's going to be a lot of information in a short amount of time, so sometimes we need a little bit more time to process the info. Then definitely take this info down and we will move from there. So how our program is staffed, it's actually quite it's super exciting because we have myself and Adriana, my colleague. We are both the employment counselors. So we do a lot of the facilitation of the workshops. We also have a job developer who will help you find meaningful employment. I want to emphasize meaningful, sustainable employment, something that you want to do, not something that we just, disperse you into. And one of the super exciting parts about our program is, in addition to employment coaching, job developer support, we were the first program in the Hamilton area to incorporate an OT, an occupational therapist, to assist with any type of your job search, whatever you have. And we're going to look at that in just a little bit more detail. So this is our team. And in the next slide here, this is a photo of a couple of our participants who have obtained successful employment. We work with employers all across the Hamilton and surrounding areas, so we're not limited to Hamilton. Basically, we say GTHA, and we've even down to Niagara area, Brantford, Toronto, surrounding area. As long as there's a way for us to connect with an employer, we're happy to do that. So in terms of our workshops, the cool part about the STEP program is we are all virtual. So our workshops and our sessions take place online via Zoom. So it's something that a lot of youth are familiar with. If not, we will certainly guide you on how to do that. So if you want to make a difference, do you want a position that will lead to job retention? Job placements are not predetermined, and that's what we want to emphasize. So say, for example, our program is ideal for youth who, different situations. Maybe you're looking for your first type of job, or maybe, and that's totally fair. You don't know what you want to be when you grow up, and that's totally okay as well. So we will help you. We will guide you. We provide you with kind of like a wraparound service in terms of services and supports. And we just want to make sure that everybody is aware of that and that this program runs. We actually have a new cohort starting up April 3rd. We are currently in recruiting for our next new cohort. But before we get into that, I'd like to advance the slide and talk a little bit about program eligibility. Is the STEP program something for you. If you've tuned in, if you're a community partner, you might have a client or a family member or anybody you know that identifies as female or non-binary or trans between the ages of 15 to 30. That's at time of intake. Somebody who is legally entitled to work in Canada, they're able to work in Canada. So you would have a SIN card number and your status can be Canadian citizen, PR, permanent resident, or convention refugee. Also, any type of, if you can identify with any type of assistance to overcome employment barriers, this can be a lot of things, okay? Limited, including maybe transportation, limited work experience. You know, COVID has certainly had an impact on the labor market. Maybe you have identified with some type of social anxiety or anxiety with work, and that's what we can help you with as well, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, the idea is that you're looking for full-time or part-time work too. And those are our key requirements. And I'd like to advance the next slide just to discuss in a little bit more detail. And this is the program overview. So essentially, if you've answered those questions, and the reason why we ask you those questions is because we are a federally funded program by the Government of Canada, and that's our mandate to help out participants with those stipulations, okay? So in terms of an overview, once you would answer those questions and we deem you to be eligible for the STEP program, we would then book a brief intake interview. It's really more like a meeting on Zoom. You would meet myself, my colleague Adriana, and what we would do from there, we just want to learn more about you and tell you more about the program. And then at that intake interview, what we do is we complete a couple of the intro forms. So we get that kind of sorted so that you're ready to go for the start date. April 3rd is our it's our next start date. We're going to do an orientation. So how that looks, it's going to be an intro session, and there's a couple forms to review together. Anything that you need more assistance with, we can certainly help you. We assist you in that regard. And we kind of go through and we do some workshops and certifications. So what you would be looking at in terms of being online, it would be 3 mornings per week, okay? So we're looking at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. would be your online Zoom sessions. And that would be anything related to certifications and employability skills. So there is that. That's the time commitment. We're looking at a time commitment for our participants anywhere from 6 to 10 hours per week. Okay, so in addition to that, we provide you with one-on-one coaching sessions. That can include anything in terms of, hey, we're going to meet to help you with your resume or prepare you for a job mock interview or help you write a cover letter, anything to that extent. So that's what we're kind of looking at for the top. Below, we do have some guest speakers, some folks at the Y who are fellow occupational therapists that can speak to programs such as or subjects like sleep hygiene, confidence workshop, stress management, anything to that extent. So that kind of encompasses the whole workshop and training element. And then the other piece, it's the piece that everyone is excited about. It's the placement opportunity. So once you've completed your 4 weeks of training, then you will start a placement, and that is a paid placement. Just to clarify, the training portion is not paid, but the placement experience will be paid. It's 14 weeks. It'll be up to 30 hours per week. And how it works is that we work with employers and we give them financial incentive to hire you, if that makes sense. So it's kind of in their best interest to work with you and work with us. And yeah, going from there. So the last piece is once you've finished our 4 weeks of training, once you've finished your the 4 weeks of training, once you've finished the placement, we have, you would be eligible for a program completion bonus, and that's something that we award you as a one-time benefit of $500 just for completing and doing the workshops and finishing your placement. So that's an added incentive for sure. Okay, if we could advance the slide, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. All right, so we're looking right now at occupational therapy services. So I mentioned earlier, we have an OT for short. What does an occupational therapist do? Well, they do a variety of things in terms of assisting you with any type of life skills and development. So for example, say if you were having, maybe you needed some support with time management or sleep hygiene. What's sleep hygiene? It's looking at how you sleep, how you're not sleeping, anything to that extent. If you're having social anxiety, we've had OTs work with a number of clients, and this is a service that's included in our program with things like routine building, maybe workplace accommodations on the job, and even like community referrals. So all of that stuff gets incorporated into our program for you, and that's something that we are really excited about. We are the premier program to have incorporated an occupational therapist, and we're very happy to see that other employment programs are now following suit. So the next slide, it will give you an idea of future start dates. Okay, so we've got April 3rd is our most recent. Then we start up continuously for 4 more cohorts, and the dates are as follows: May 1st, we've got May 29th, June 26th, and July 24th. So just for context, on the right-hand side of that slide, it says 14-week job placement. Placements can begin sooner than once your 4 weeks of training is done. It depends if there's opportunity, if you're motivated, and certainly moving forward from that, okay? So that is something to keep in mind. If you're more on a fast track and you have an idea of the work you want to do, then of course this is an employment program and we want to see you successful. So just for the next slide, some program requirements. We would ask that all clients or participants check emails regularly, be available by phone, and because we are virtual, we certainly request that you have access to a computer or electronic device. Now, in the past, we have partnered with the Hamilton Public Library to assist us with lending a device to program participants, and they had utilized, I believe it was iPads or tablets, so they could access our program, and that was for like the duration of the program. So it's something that is part of the requirement as well. And the next two on the next slide here, we're just requesting that you have basic computer skills, enough to be able to sign into Zoom, check your emails, send emails, and of course, attending virtual sessions. Part of our, basically, we assess your participation and your professionalism. A lot of times we could speak to employers and we can be references for you, and we can speak to your soft skills and say, you know, like Nadine, she participated, she was enthusiastic, she seemed passionate, and she was on task and completed things on time. Like, we could speak to that if you demonstrate those skill sets. Okay, so the next slide, just advancing the slides here, these are the workshop topics that we will be reviewing together. We're going to start with some self-assessment. We certainly think that's important, and that's part of it. Things like resume writing, interview skills, moving forward, like we take a holistic approach. So a lot of job search effective job search is certainly, I believe strongly, is rooted in self-awareness. So the more you realize yourself, your knowledge, your skills and abilities, the better off it will be to create strong job search documents and articulate yourself in interview skills. So there's that. We have these life skills, of course, that our OTs, occupational therapists, support us with, which is the stress management and sleep hygiene, and of course, professionalism in the workplace. Once you're ready to move forward, we cover those areas as well. So for the next slide, we are just talking about the certifications that you obtain online. So we will give you certificates from the YWCA Hamilton that involve things like health and safety. Customer service is a hugely sought after skill set that spans across many industries. New AODA training and preventing workplace harassment. There's only one bit of training that we have to conduct in person, and that is first aid and CPR. That will be booked with the client, and it is optional for you to attend that, but it is included as part of the program package at an accessible location. And that's booked on a case-by-case basis and when you are available. Okay. So the next slide, we've just got a couple left here, is the STEP program incentives. We have personal support. So what that means is while you are a client in our program, you have up to a small budget of up to $389.50 per participant, which can be spread out during the duration of the program. The job developer uses this budget to help you support you with your employment or any fees or funds that you might need. For example, we've helped clients in the past with interview clothing, Presto Pass, any type of equipment for on the job, and more. And of course, there's the job completion bonus or the project completion bonus, which I spoke to earlier. This is awarded once the pre-employment training, that's just a fancy way of saying the workshops and the job placements are completed. And the next slide is just going to speak to the skills that you develop, and they're, you know, it's holistic. There's employability skills, which you're learning at the same time you're developing life skills. And we do have small cohorts. These are participants just like you that, you know, could use the extra hand and support in gaining these life skills and these employment. And yeah, that's what we do essentially. The next slide you can speak to. I know it's not an endless list. I always laugh at this one. It's a synopsis. This is a list of employment opportunities or placements that you might be able to pursue. So things, we've had many folks who ended up in customer service, food service, transportation, marketing, working in social media, working within childcare, food prep, whatever you would like to do. You would meet with a job developer and we work and carve out a plan for you to obtain that. We are very excited to offer these programs and services, and we want to make sure that it makes sense for all employers. Employers, of course, and participants such as yourselves. And we're very happy to, when you're successful, it gives us great joy and we feel successful too. And just as the last slide, we just want to say, you know what? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And we like using the term STEP. It is the acronym for our program, but we certainly look forward to working with you. And of course, if you have any questions or anything you can think of a little bit later, then please, you're welcome to contact me whenever you so choose. Okay? And that is our info session.
Could we have you share your contact info again, or maybe Nadine could go back to the slide with it so that anybody who wants it can see it again?
Yes, that's fantastic. That's on slide number 2.
Well, thank you very much for coming and speaking to this, Lydia. And it sounds like a really good program. I didn't realize there was actual incentives as part of it as well as the job. So that's really great. I believe we'll be posting this online, but that will be something we'll talk about afterwards. But there's that I think is pretty much it for today. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Lydia?
No, I just wanted to thank you. And, you know, technical difficulties happen, but we made it, and we made it on time too, right? So that's good as well. Thank you so much for your time.
We got through it.
We made it work. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Lydia. Thanks to everyone who joined us. And I hope that some of you will connect to Lydia and maybe start in on this program. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.